Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble and on Patreon for extra support. Any kind of updates and such, I usually go about on Twitter X. Probably later on, I will be doing a Jusan episode. I still need to go through my wish list and check some demos that I want to play with. But yeah, other than that, one of or the other, I will later be publishing one of those. Just a quick reminder: complete gameplay series here on the main page of the channels in playlists, and let's get going. We are getting ahead of Computex, some leaks here and there. This time with the 9070 GRE, some supposedly official photographs leaked. It seems to have confirmation of certain specifications, especially that it's going to be 12 gigabytes of VRAM. And basically, that's it. And the fact that we have, again, we already knew that if coming out is going to be still a Navi 48 on the chipset side of things, supposedly the memory will be downclocked to 18 gigabytes per second, but the frequency seems to be pretty good enough. And again, limitation in terms of memory, 192-bit memory bus. Again, it's cut down. Again, I'm not sure how it's going to perform, but then again, from the uh, rumors and some leaks here and there in terms of paper specifications, this seems to be aimed for a 1440p GPU to play around comfortably almost any kind of game, and 1440p, probably some entry level 4K. I think, even though 12 gigabytes of VRAM, it's very short on that. But yeah, it all depends on also the 9060 XT, how it's going to behave, and the non-XT variants there. Um, in terms of memory, I checked Moorloy's that video that supposedly from their insider stuff there, supposedly I think AMD might be canceling the 8 gigabyte VRAM from the 9060 XT. Again, we already yesterday I showed the review from Hardware Unboxed on the 5060 Ti 8 gigabyte versus the 16 gigabyte, and again, it's a shit show of a GPU, the 5060 Ti 8 gigabyte. Again, even in some cases, and it's due to the limitations of the VRAM. We got a case, at least from the suite of games that they tested from the Indiana Jones. It cannot even play 1080p high settings, which again, that GPU supposedly is aimed for 1440p gaming. And yeah, 8 gigabytes is like basic, very entry level, if that. And I think if any GPU is launched with this kind of VRAM buffer of 8 gigabytes, should be aimed 250 or lower in terms of pricing, whatever it might be, the the model of that GPU. Um, Again, for 1080p, again, especially from NVIDIA, given that usually they market their own technology as almost a must-have to play games. 8 gigabytes is very short to activate, for example, the upscaling and even MFGs or FG, so fake frame rates. You really need some buffer on that GPU, and 8 gigabytes is not enough even for 1080p. I think 8 gigabytes is for an entry level, in the sense that you can play basic graphic settings at 1080p or lower. But again, if we are in the time that 1080p is the bare minimum, and if not launching GPUs that can handle at least 1080p, I don't know, between medium to high settings, I don't think it's worth the trouble, unless maybe you have a second GPU that you want just, I don't know, do some video editing, that and you need just the bare minimum, or to have something to browse the internet. Other than that, if you want to start messing around with some games, in some instances, might as well invest on an APU or laptop or something like that to cover the 1080p basics in terms of gaming. But yeah, hopefully with AMD on Computex, we will see how they're going to launch the rest of the lineup of RDNA 4. And again, that there's still hopes that they might announce like a super duper GPU, but I don't think so. But yeah, this is what I got from AMD in terms of leaks and rumors. Then on the industry itself, we got a little bit more information regarding TSMCs in terms of what they are doing here. And this news comes more in the packaging side of things. We all know that again the manufacturing process in terms of size, we are I think we still are a 4 nanometer. This last chips here, I think the 3 or 2 nanometer are aiming to be launched between next year or something like that in terms of mass production. But then again, we got a little bit of trick regarding the packaging. If you can manage to do the packaging properly, there can be some gains in terms of performance on the final chip there. And TSMC is doing some breakthroughs on that. Uh, Basically, it's combining chips on a single wafer and substrate. This new one of the modes, it's CoWoS, has brought in massive boost in computer. Oh my God, computational performance, and now they're including new and improved SoW and SoW-X variants, which is said to be much more capable than what we have now, which is CoWoS, lack of a better term there. And they release something in that framework, which is 9.5 times reticle size. Again, this is microscopical. You cannot watch this, not even with a magnifying glass. And it will allow the fact that they can do this in a better size or more compact size, up to 12 HBM stacks. Again, I don't know what HBM it means. But yeah, supposedly, given that in terms of compute power and all this system on wafer kind of a thing here, again, next year they are aiming for 3.5 times. I think so. Then 2027, around 7 times this system on wafer kind of a thing there, and that they are aiming after 2027 to be more mainstream, like a 40 times the reticle thing here, which is going to deliver 6 times more HBM stuff there. Again, this supposedly will ramp up the compute power of the chips if they manage to put everything together in terms of packaging. Again, packaging is very important, not only because you got the chip, then got the memory interface and all those little things there, and the smaller you can get, again, not only is going to be more powerful that chip within the same die size, but I think it can be also a more in terms of performance to power consumption. So even for mobile devices and everything, I think this might be something that every device can beneficiate with. And even taking into account this kind of packaging thing that TSMC is doing, I'm not sure, for example, if, for example, AMD and their kind of chiplet design, how that can be leveraged, which is something interesting. The same thing with Intel, but Intel is a little bit behind on this kind of packaging stuff. The process nodes they are aiming with the 18A process manufacturer, aiming for 3 nanometer. I think there's something that it might be coming up by the end of the year, but I have to wait and see for that. But yeah, all of these things, again, even if you reach 1 nanometer kind of manufacturing process in conjunction with this kind of packaging services that TSMC is doing, I think we might still see some revolutions in terms of generation, specifically not only from CPUs but also from GPUs. But yeah, interesting stuff there. And again, just a quick aside, it's this, given that TSMC is a Chinese foundry, company foundry in terms of chipsets there. It's based on Taiwan. Again, you can see being that they are always in the cutting edge of doing, and like at least sometimes one or two generations above the competition in certain ways. You can see how some pressures from the tariff wars and all that jazz, how that can impact this kind of business in the overall scheme of things there. But yeah, interesting stuff there. Hopefully the competition can catch up with that from Samsung, even the Intel stuff there. Nvidia doesn't do anything, just design chips. But yeah, hopefully the competition can start to catch up, because again, as always, competition breeds better products with lower prices, at least. But yeah, we have to wait and see how this will be able to leverage in terms of the final products, especially on the DIY market, in terms of performance and hopefully competitive pricing. In terms of games, we already have some mods being launched from Oblivion. Sorry, the Elder Scrolls for Oblivion Remastered, to introduce some stability and performance improvements. Again, given that this is an Unreal Engine 5 game, again, it's a little bit heavy on the systems, even including mine. I'm still not sure if maybe I need to do a fresh install of Windows, because it's been a while since I did something like that. But yeah, Unreal Engine games, especially Unreal Engine 5, are a little bit heavy if you don't tweak, and even in certain entry level systems, it's very hard to play around and do some without any kind of modding. In this sense, it's a little bit hard to get around and play these games here. There is one mod which is the No More VRAM Leaks Crashes mod. Again, VRAM leakage, let's say, so stuff that supposedly is to be stored on the VRAM of the GPU. Sometimes it leaks to the RAM of the system, and that can cause crashes in certain instances. And basically, what this is kind of a ini file, I assume, that caps the texture streaming to the user's GPU VRAM and disables ray tracing and Lumen to prevent crashes on GPU with lower VRAM capacity. So basically, it tells the game that again, you don't do the texture streaming above X amount of GPU VRAM, depending on the GPU that you have, basically to avoid this kind of situations. And then there is also another one, which is Legend FPS patch. Again, this is not 100% sure to improve a little bit of stability and performance. But supposedly what it does, it basically turns off motion blur, bloom, film grain, and even supposedly improves a little bit the water stuff there. Again, usually these kind of effects like motion blur, bloom, and film grain can impact a little bit the GPU in terms of how it performs. But then again, this might not be a 100% solvable case for everybody, given that some people said that this isn't getting what it's supposed to do there. But yeah, interesting stuff. Again, given that Unreal Engine 5 it's been out for some time, again, there are certain things that you can do with basically within any kind of game that it comes out. It's easier to, again, I don't know how to do, but it's a little bit easier to introduce this kind of tweak files on these kind of games that come up in this game engine there. But yeah, interesting stuff. Again, we will continue to see some mods coming out here and there. But yeah, at least these ones, I think this one, the No More VRAM Leaks Crashes, I think it's the better one from what I've been seeing here. But yeah, take it at your own chance. Interesting stuff there. Resident Evil 4 Remake sales topped 10 million units. Again, usually when any kind of company uh, announces top sales, when they reach a milestone, they usually reference as sales. They don't refer as players. We've been seeing some shenanigans happening there, specifically lately with Assassin's Creed Shadows. They being bolstering It's now being a little bit quiet, but they bolstered a lot with 3 million players. Again, it's that equivalent of sales. I didn't see any updates regarding sales of that game. But yeah, when a game announces that they sold well, they announce as sales and not as players. So always pay attention to this kind of headlines. And again, yeah, 10 million sales. I think it was the fastest Resident Evil game to reach this milestone, it seems. The game again, it's pretty good. It's already bought this one also from one of the latest gaming deals that they launched. It's on the back burner, so I can replay all the Resident Evil remakes and then Seven and Village. It's a little bit tricky because of the de novo in terms of recording. It's a little bit tricky for this configuration that I have on the system. It doesn't record properly. It's a little bit all over the place, so it's on the back burner for now. But yeah, it's one of those franchises that I want to replay. Basically, Resident Evil 2, 3, 4 remake, then go directly to 7, and then afterwards Village. Something that I have on my back burner there. We got also an update regarding FBC, so Federal Bureau of Control Firebreak. Supposedly it's going to be launched June 17. It seems an interesting game, mainly because of lore aspects of it, the way you go about it. Again, it seems to be a co-op experience in the sense that they took the mechanic of control, where you have those side objectives or secondary objectives when you have like certain issues that pop out from time to time, where you have to defeat some waves of enemies, kind of a thing there. I think this is basically a game around that kind of mechanic, and the fact after the Firebreak chapter on control, when things start to get real crazy, supposedly there is people from the bureau that are trying to control the hiss around the old house, I think it's called. But yeah, interesting stuff there. Again, it's not a game for me, but again, hopefully this is a good game, and hopefully Remedy can turn around and tone down a little bit the ESGs and the Jedi's and the all that jazz from what we saw from Alan Wake 2. But yeah, that's it for this one. In terms of yesterday, again, coming about Oblivion remake, we got the Nexus mod that was basically removed there, especially the one regarding changing body type to sex. Change not changes not sex changes the sex option on the character creator. There was some kind of lame excuse for removing that mod, but they after some pressure, it seems they backtracked that. So I think that given that they banned the account, they said that this happened because of the behavior of the user. Again, I don't know what they are trying to do here, but supposedly they backtracked on that, and supposedly it is live now. Also, the kind of similar mods that do this kind of instead of the body type, have the sex stuff there for you to change. But yeah, it's been something that's been persisting on Access Mod. This kind of banning mods out of nowhere, especially this kind of if it is not a huge deal kind of a thing there, why do you continue to ban mods? And with that said, there is this DEG Mods I covered yesterday. Again, this is kind of a repository kind of a thing there, which supposedly it doesn't. It's kind of people can. It seems that people can upload mods, but this doesn't save the mods. This is kind of I don't know, search engine kind of a thing there. It seems to me, but again, it doesn't ban anything. So I think you have better chances to get some specific mods found here than anybody else there. Again, if you like this service, as always, supporting this platform here, and again also the mod makers, I think it's always good to support them if you can, of course. But yeah, you can take a quick look here. They have the about section, which explains basically how they work here, And again, they will have, I think they have a mod manager also. Uh, the other way to go about it, maybe it can be the Steam Workshop. I think it's pretty good also from what I tried out there. But yeah, this one DEG Mods, which stands for, I completely forgot what it stands for. But yeah, interesting service here. A good, I think, might be a good alternative to Nexus Mod. We have to put pressure with competition so they can, so they don't ban mods have, as they've been banning at least in the last couple of years. But yeah, this is it regarding news. Let's go for some gaming deals. We got Dredge 50% off. Again, it's one of those Lovecraftian fishing games, let's say, but it's more about the characters in the world, it seems. But yeah, very interesting, very positive feedback from everybody. We got also Forza Horizon. It's 50% off in all editions, if not mistaken, here. Again, this is part of Xbox Game Studio. Again, doesn't have a time limit, so I'm not sure when it's going to end this deal, but it started yesterday, if not mistaken. So I think at least 1 week or so for you to get around to get these deals here. We got also Jagged Alliance is still on sale, 50% off. We got Liza P is again on sale, 40% off. We got also Ni no Kuni, the first one, so Wrath of the White Witch. This is the remastered version. It's 85% off. Again, it's one of those JRPGs, Ghibli style kind of art style. We got also Okami HD. It's 50% off. We got Ori games. This is Ori and the Blind Forest, the definitive edition, 80% off. And then the sequel, The Will of the Wisps, 67% off. We got also Pacific Drive. The deluxe edition this time is 40% off. We got Resident Evil franchises all on sale. I will leave all the Resident Evil games from Steam on the description below, so you can pick and choose which one you want to complete the game. Then you got Long Dark, 90% off. It's a good price. Again, this is kind of a survival game with some story modes and some challenge modes also, if not mistaken. Pretty good game. It was on early access for some time, but it's been a while since it came out with a full-fledged game, and it seems pretty good there. And lastly, we got the Thaumaturge. Now it's 45% off. Again, this kind of detective or paranormal detective game, isometric view with some turn-based combat there, but it's more focused on the detective side of things, which is very interesting. And again, very positive feedback from everybody. And yeah, that's it for today. I'll wrap up here with the plug on my Patreon as usual for access support. The access support is more aligned for me to get around and maybe trying to get a better storage solution so I can have backups of the stuff that I do for my clients. And of course, some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.